Okay, I am ready. Part 2 of the podcast. We have another beer. You want to do it? Let's do it.
Sure.
Beer of the show, part 2.
So we actually have a barrel-aged beer from Fremont. So it is an Imperial Winter Ale aged in bourbon barrels. Myself and Mike are really fond of the bourbon barrel aged type beers, or BBAs.
Definitely.
This is a limited 2017 release.
Ooh.
So it is 2007. It's almost 2019. So it's been aging for a little bit, bottled condition for a little bit. I don't know if I said that right. I don't know that much. It's a 13. Don't know that much about beer. I just pretend like I do.
That's not true. He knows a lot.
It is a 13% alcohol by volume.
Oh,
and
50%.
We're going to give it a try. Sounds good.
Nice.
I heard of it, so I really wanted to try it this time around. And we're getting closer and closer to
Smells
winter.
delicious. Cheers.
Winter is coming.
It is. Oh, man.
That's great.
That is good.
It's like not an and then it leaves that taste.
Yeah, but you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not a black licorice fan,
Mm-hmm.
but this has a taste of black licorice,
Yeah.
and I don't mind it.
No, I think it works perfectly.
I think it works really well.
Yeah. It's not like it's
And
not.
it's a hint. It's a hint of black licorice. It's not. I don't think there's actually black licorice at all. I'm just, my taste buds are weird because that last beer I tasted bacon. So I don't know what's going on with me, but it still tastes really good.
It's really
and I'm
good.
not like a
I mean, I definitely get that wintry kind of flavor to it. It's not too. It's boozy towards the end, like I feel it in like my throat going down.
Yeah.
But it's not an
Which I love.
overabundance. Yes, I love booze in my mouth going down. Don't get confused with the words over there. Okay. So, but yeah, great beer. Good dog.
It is, and it's nice too. Your choice was perfect because it's nice and rainy over here, a little bit cold.
Exactly.
So I mean, it's a nice little
It's
sit down in front of a fire.
I was wondering how long that was going to go for. It's nice sit down, cigar in your mouth.
Ooh, yeah.
In your robe, looking like, never mind. I'm not going to bring him up. Rest in peace, Hugh Hefner. So,
I'm not going to bring him up. And then I bring him up.
And then I had to bring him up. So, it is obviously getting to stout season.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Season is great.
It's my favorite time of the year.
Obviously, with winter and it being...
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Stout season.
Stout season.
Hashtag stout season.
Hashtag barrel aged in my mouth. Booze in my mouth.
Hashtag booze in my mouth.
Booze in my mouth.
Not to be misconstrued with
Do not
boobs in my mouth.
misconstrue that. It is booze in my mouth. I'm going.
But I like booze in my mouth too.
I knew you were gonna take it there. God, he's drunk. Article 3. So, we're huge Game of Thrones fans.
Huge.
He actually introduced me to it about what 2? No, it's
Three.
No, 2 years ago.
We've been here for 2 years, bro. We've
Not
been
yet.
here for
December is 2
November.
years.
November.
Oh, November. Late November.
November's 2 years, and I introduced it to you back in the apartments.
2 years ago. Before
Fine,
everything.
whatever.
Yeah, it was 2 years. It's been 2 years, guys.
Sure.
So I was late on it, and ever since I got onto it, it's just been like, oh my God, when's the next series coming out? So I remember.
I'm actually surprised you haven't read the books.
I should.
Are you like a book reader?
No, I'm not a book.
No.
I should. I should start picking it up.
It's good.
So this article by Mashable is actually ranking every single character in the Game of Thrones. George R.R. Martin actually really wanted to convey the message of not every character
can be placed in good and evil.
Could be placed in good and evil.
Okay.
That everyone really has is really kind of just really their attributes are more humanistic. They're if you can say so yourself, and everyone has that ability to have or make villainous actions or what the category is, or what really the articles really talks about is that they put together an exhaustive list of Game of Thrones characters. So most of the characters that are from the Game of Thrones are on this list. But how they're ranked is the scale of most to is on a scale of most to least justified evil doing based on what we know so far.
Okay, so pretty much what we've seen in the season and what they've done, we know that we can look. So it's really opinionated.
Yeah, it's
based on it's like, so we're justifying what he did. Okay, that was bad.
Yeah.
Right. We're just saying if that's good or bad, pretty much. Okay.
I believe so.
Okay.
We'll figure this out right now.
So the 9. A lot of people like to break down Game of Thrones as a 9-box square or a 3x3 square, where they have good, neutral, and evil. But then on top of that, they have the other variable, which would be like lawful, true neutral, or chaotic. So you can be a chaotic good, and a chaotic good.
Maybe like Jaime Lannister, or is that?
He would probably be like a neutral. He's not too bad, not too good, because he has developed a lot in his character. Or maybe he's turning more good, so maybe he might be a chaotic good. So a chaotic good would be someone like Arya, right? She's good, but she's trying to start to turn into like a bad little girl. But she's chaotic about her good, right? Her responsibility is to protect her family, or is to like whatever it is. But it's always kind of for a good reason. But she does it chaotically, with murder, with whatever, right? Whereas you have someone like a chaotic evil, which would be Joffrey, or a lawful evil on the other side of the spectrum, which would be like Peter Baelish, because he's evil, but he's doing it more in like a political way, right? You have lawful good, so someone like the Stark, right, who gets his head cut off. Ned Stark. He's a lawful good because he's always kind of trying to be honest, trying to be whatever. And then you have someone who would be neutral, or a true neutral would be like Tyrion, right? Where he's not bad, he's not good. He's just trying to right in the middle ground. Yeah. But he's like not lawful too much or not chaotic, but he's just right in the center of that square. So you can't really break it up off just a spectrum of just good and evil. People like to try to break it up into like these 9 different kind of spectrums. Okay. Just to make sense of what is occurring. Whereas George R. R. Martin takes it even a step further and says, no, I didn't even like that. You don't want to label them at all. You want to label them as a human being who has their own thoughts, their own desires, and what they choose to do with them makes them the person that they are.
And this whole list is really just ranking everybody from those who would make the most villainous acts that are unjustifiable to the ones who don't really have anything. They're justified in their actions to what they see. Right. So the top of the list, just to give everyone kind of a fact of matter, is Hodor. He's really kind of just this innocent person who...
Oh, he's not top... He's not number 1?
He's not number 1. He's not the most evil. He held the door.
Fine.
And that destroyed the entire...
That's why he's evil.
He's evil. No. So just so everybody knows, like Hodor is like at the very, very bottom of the list, and then it gets worse and worse and worse and worse.
Right. Who's the Stannis Baratheon's daughter? Oh. I think she would probably be at the top of the list too.
She could be at the top of the list too, and we could talk about that.
Because she never seemed to really. She was so sweet. She taught Davos how to read. You know what I mean? She was just a kid, just trying to live, and her mom freaking hated her, and her dad Stannis Baratheon was just a dick.
I think they did bring her up. I think she's literally number like 71.
71. Oh damn! It's a long list.
I think it's most of the characters.
This is by who? Mashable.
This is by Mashable.
Mashable. So that article is also going to be down in the description below. You can also check it out. Pretty interesting read, I guess, for the most part. Shireen
Baratheon is actually that's so hilarious. She's number 53.
Fuck yeah!
Right? You could be good at this.
There's 73. I thought there was
54.
There's 54.
Hodor is 54. Okay. So. We're gonna start from number 5 and then work our way up.
Okay, excite me. I haven't looked at the top 5.
He knows number 1.
Cheater. I did. I cheated.
So, Number 5, and this is where we're actually going to be whether they should be in the top 5 or if you agree, disagree.
Yeah, so it's like an opinion thing. So
It's an
because
opinion
this
thing.
is an opinion,
If
what
the-
is your opinion? What is our opinion?
Exactly.
Right.
So we're basically giving our opinion about an opinion.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Okay, so at number 5, Gregor Clegane.
Okay, so the mountain.
The Mountain.
Yeah,
You guys don't know the Mountain.
He's pretty bad.
He's pretty bad. But is he top 5?
Yes, definitely.
Top 5.
Fuck
I
yeah.
think I would have to figure out who the rest of the top 5 are to be like, should he be top 5 or should he not?
No, I think he's top
Top
5.
5? I mean,
Yeah. So
pretty bad.
So the
Why do you say he's top 5?
during Robert's Rebellion, which you guys may know or may not know, where the King Robert in the very first season, he actually rebels against the Targaryen king and pretty much tries to take over the land, and he does. He succeeds. Tywin joins forces with the Baratheons, and he sends out kind of mercenaries, and one of them is the Mountain.
Oh, yeah.
And he sends them out and to go find all the Targaryens in Westeros and kill them. So what ends up happening is here you have the Mountain bringing in red linen cloth wrapped up with babies that are Targaryen babies. And then later on, he actually goes in and describes about how he killed the Targaryen kids, where he literally just grabbed them by their feet and smashed them up against a wall. And then he raped the mothers. And then he killed the mothers and then raped them again, pretty much. So it was like, he is definitely a chaotic evil.
That is pretty.
And he just likes to kill things and rape things and pillage.
It's unjustifiable. He was just evil.
Straight up.
Straight up.
Straight up. And that was back in Robert's Rebellion. He was still doing fucked up shit.
Yeah.
When Ned Stark got his head cut off, and then Tywin started to move on the different lands again. Again, you have the Mountain running around and going and pillaging villages and pillaging different areas. And it was actually Ned Stark, before he got his head cut off, that like had someone go out and find him and bring him back to the castle. It never happened, but he did request it to happen because of the way that he was like, killing people and like murdering and raping and whatnot. So he was definitely, I think that's justified.
Over or under your top 5?
I think it's right at my top 5.
Right at your top 5.
Yeah.
Okay. How you painted it, I completely forgot that he did that. As soon as you said it, it's like, oh, that's right. He is an evil
son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. Okay. Next one, Peter Baelish.
Oh.
Number 4 is Peter Baelish.
That's a tough one, I think. He did so much shitty things, but he did them so sneakily, that it's hard to kind of be like, it's hard to pinpoint. You know what I mean? It's like a mafia king who like the FBI can't take to jail because they can't ever pinpoint it was them that ordered it. You know what I mean? That ordered the hit or whatever it was. Like, it's just so hard, but it was. So yeah, it is justified that he would be in the top. I think he would just be top 10, but he did start the whole war, so that is pretty bad.
Yeah, with getting that strife between the Stark and the Lannisters, correct? So he started that whole war, but I mean, I've always looked at him evil because he's just been so conniving. I mean, look at what he did to Ned Stark's wife's sister.
Yeah.
He had her kill the king. Mm-hmm. He literally manipulated her, and then ended up doing away with her himself.
Right.
And so this whole
she didn't kill the king, but she set it up to make it look like the king's hand was killed by a Lannister, was poisoned by a Lannister, and she had sent the letter to Catelyn Stark saying that the Lannister twins were the ones that did the poisoning.
So honestly, if Peter Baelish did not do any of those doings, would they really be in this situation?
No, they wouldn't at all.
No. So that's why,
because he would still be the hand of the king would still be alive. Mm-hmm. It would probably be pretty bad to the point where like they're bankrupt
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they have to deal with financial situations, but I don't think war would ever come up because I think they would all stand strong behind Robert,
Yeah.
at least in my opinion.
I think Peter really kind of set up the whole series and was like, I'm really the one who masterminded everything and let it.
And it's crazy to think that like you don't know this information
Until
like season 4 or 5
Yeah.
or something ridiculous like that. Because it's like I read the first book and I'm just like, I know you see a little bit of like his doing, right? But you also see the Spider's doing, but you know that he's kind of possibly good too. He's not really good in the books, but he's good in the series a little bit. You know, or at least he has kind of like a redemption feeling too.
And he also tried to get in between Sansa and Arya and stuff like that. He really tried to kind of be that voice. So he did a lot of little things that were super, super effective and had domino effects. And he kind of just slithered his way through. And you know, I think if we had a ranking of most satisfying deaths, he would definitely be one of the tops for sure. Definitely. So over, under, do you think he's right at 4?
I don't think he's at 4. I think he's top 10, but I don't think he's at 4.
It depends on because I don't know what the rest are, but I don't see him as top 4. I know he caused a lot of strife, but in terms of, because he did it, I guess you can say, on a more justifiable level to where it's like self-gain rather than he's just a psychopath.
Right.
You know, whereas because
you look at the mountain, and he's just a crazy person.
Straight crazy. He's a psychopath.
And that's probably what I'm judging on is like who did the most killing almost, you know, but he did do the most killing if you think about the war that started.
If you think about the wars that
there
he
is
started,
a lot of argument there.
So I could see it, but I'm not going to put him, you know, I think he was just playing a game of chess and was winning a lot, obviously, up until the end, you know, and was trying to kind of get his footing in to be a higher power because he felt like, you know, he had the short end of the stick or whatever. Littlefoot. So, is it Littlefoot? No, it's Little. Oh.
Littlefoot's from the dinosaur.
A lot of times. Anyways, so moving on. Number 3.
Mama?
Number 3. Joffrey Baratheon.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Top 5?
Definitely.
Right at 3.
Maybe even 2. I don't know who 2 is, but 2, he's right there.
He's right there.
Yeah.
He was terrible.
Yeah.
All the way through.
Just bad.
He killed. As soon as he got that thirst for blood, he just went with it.
Oh, man.
Man, he was just a terrible little kid.
Yeah, he was.
And it sucks so bad for that because the actual actor got a lot of flack outside of the series.
Yeah,
like,
he quit acting
because of that.
Yeah.
He did such a great job at acting as this kid and this
character. Yeah,
because
if you can have that much emotion just by watching a TV show by hating that kid so much, that's how well he did in acting. You know, I mean, he went from, you know, I mean, you can see the progression that Joffrey had. I mean, here he is on, you know, a fire escape, being saved by Batman, and then being abandoned by him. And of course, then he's going to turn around and try to rule Westeros and be like the most evil person ever, you know, because Batman's not there anymore to save him and stop him.
I think I got lost in that whole conversation. Was like,
he's the little kid in Batman Begins.
Yeah, he is. I remember
that gets saved.
But I missed that whole tidbit before you said it. I was like, it's like turning away for 1 second, and all of a sudden it's like, where the hell did Batman come from? I literally took my eyes like 1 second, and then all of a sudden he was just gone. So over, under.
I already said I think he's probably number 2.
Okay.
But I don't know who number 2 is. If it's Cersei, then he's definitely number 2.
If it's Cersei, then if it's Cersei,
she's pretty bad too. But I mean, like, I think he's worse.
I'm gonna save that one. Let's see. Okay, so this one's gonna come as a surprise.
Okay.
Is Euron Greyjoy?
I think Joffrey's definitely number 2. Euron Greyjoy could for sure take the 3rd or 4th place, in my opinion. He's pretty bad. I mean, he's almost as bad as the Mountain because he's at least got like that arrogance and that charisma.
Yeah.
Which which is a pretty bad combination when you have the psychopath level of the mountain, where you're okay with killing, you're okay with raping and pillaging because he's an iron-born, clansman or whatever, and then you have that like he's supposed to be handsome, you know what I mean, and so women are fond of him, kind of thing, you know what I mean, like, or at least he has that kind of charisma, or at least it shows it in the season, in the series.
In terms of just looking at the top 5 and that being number 2, and who I feel like, I don't feel like he's more evil than certain characters. Like, I don't know. I thought Cersei Lannister. I think she
would be in top 5.
I think she would be on top because as much as Euron is kind of like an asshole, it's kind of like, all right, he's an asshole. Like, he's just a terrible person. But I think he's just out for himself at the same time. He's
right.
It's not like he's doing anything he's not like a psychopath.
No.
He's
not.
not.
Yeah, a little bit.
He's a little bit, but he's not in terms of just everybody else on this list. He wasn't like a person just like, okay, like he deserves to die. I mean, he deserves to die. It's gonna happen. It's inevitable. But he wasn't the one that got to me with the things that he did. Like Joffrey did, or like the Mountain did, and even Cersei. She was the one who kind of like she just like, it's like, dang, like can't wait for her to kind of just die and get hers. And that's why I'm just like, for me.
What does the description say?
The description, let's see. It does say that way worse in the books. So I think that's what they take account of, is that he was way worse in the books. But one of the most revolting human beings regardless. Also bad plan, but acts cocksure about it in this way that makes us feel like he deserves a punch. Which I get.
Yeah, he deserves a punch, but it's like, to be number 2, you'd want to like fucking strangle the person, or like have him tortured for the rest of their life, kind of thing.
Yeah,
like that. A punch is like, okay, you're gonna sit at like.
Yeah, it's like
you're gonna sit at top 12. You know what I mean?
12,
it doesn't seem like they're that, because if it's like Joffrey's 3rd and everything that he did, to turn around and be like, no, number 2 deserves a punch. It's like, nah, come on. Like,
daddy issues couldn't be that bad. I mean, but Euron Greyjoy isn't in the same ranks of the Mountain and Joffrey. He's just kind of just like, all right, he's just this character who's, fulfilling this specific need at that certain time, but he's not really the mastermind of anything. I mean, I know he killed his brother, but I mean, his brother wasn't great of a person either. So
yeah, and he's looking to kill his niece and nephew.
Yeah, I mean, that's also something, but he's just doing it so he can, put himself ahead.
Right. But that's something that the Ironborn have been doing for thousands of years.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
Like that's how they rule. That's how they live. That's their culture. Not that's justified, but that's just kind of like,
it gives a premise of the justification.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Or like an understanding of like, if it's like within your culture, then yeah, I get it. Like, you still have a chance to change, but at the same time, it's not too bad.
Number 1. I don't think it's going to be much of a surprise to anyone. I'm pretty sure everyone can kind of gather who number 1 is. It is Ramsay Bolton.
I didn't know. I thought it was Jon Snow.
Jon Snow.
Jon Snow.
I agree. Like, I can't say anything but I agree. He was the most heinous character I have probably ever seen in a series in general. He was just like, man.
And underdeveloped.
This guy's underdeveloped.
Yeah.
How so?
He was so bad. Like, okay, here you're talking about George R.R. Martin, and you can't place good versus evil, but then you create this character that is so flipping evil to the point where we completely forget about Joffrey, and we focus on this new character, and then we're like, you know what? I'd rather take Joffrey. You know what I mean? But because this character is so downright evil, that he cannot be developed. He cannot develop his character at all. Like, he just seemed he was always the same, no matter what.
No matter what.
Started out whenever you first meet him to whenever
he met his demise.
He never ever changed. He never developed in a good or a negative way. He was just so evil that he stayed evil the whole time. And I don't think that's a good character. No. Personally, I don't think that's a good character.
He was so evil. Like there was no sense of sympathy. There was no sense of anything. No. You just wanted him dead the entire time. There was just things that he did. You're just like,
or when you saw him on the screen, you're like, fuck, what's he gonna do?
Yeah, like he just really had this unsettling. Like when you seen him on the screen, it was like this unsettling feeling. Like, God, like this is like looking in the mind of like a serial killer type thing. Mm-hmm. That's what it felt like. It was like, God, this is firsthand serial killer mentality to where he tortured people.
Making a Murderer Westeros edition.
Basically, like, I don't know. He was one of the. He was a 100% scary agree. Character. He was a scary character. I think everybody could agree. It's like, God, like, I really hope there's not people like this in the world, and it makes you kind of afraid.
He starved his dogs. He hunted humans. He freaking tortured them. He dismembered, raped. He dismembered them. He enjoyed it the whole time, and he was so easily like able to be like, yeah, you're the person that I'm with right now, and then just okay, you're not anymore. You know what I mean? Like that was just, and it's just, ugh.
And he gets you so riled up.
Yeah.
And it's not to say the actor did a phenomenal job in playing this character. There was no necessarily character development, but just to think of like what mindset did the actor actually have to get into to play this character.
I don't know. The first time I saw him was in Misfits. It's a UK, a British TV show about a group of kids that get like electrocuted and they all start getting powers. And he was in it. He was like the shy guy.
Oh, wow.
And he was like the kid who was bullied or like was kind of just, he was the introvert type of thing. And it was so different to see him on the screen of Game of Thrones. And I'm just like, dude, that is so weird to see him. And I'm just like, I hate him now. It's like, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, he does such a good job.
I mean, obviously the actor who played Joffrey did so good. But I was like, I know is that. But when I look at that actor, I'm just like, I can't escape from this whole thing. Like, I can't escape his character. He's always going to be that character. He's always going to be Ramsay. So I hope he eventually escapes from it. But for right now and probably for the foreseeable future, I remember seeing him in kind of like an upcoming movie of like, that's Ramsay.
Oh, he's in the upcoming Marvel TV show that just flopped like crazy. The Inhumans.
Yeah. He's a part of that. And I just looked at him. I was like, nope, that's Ramsay.
Yeah.
That's Ramsay.
Yeah. I think he's also a bad character in that show, too, so I think it's kind of fitting.
Yeah, so he scarred that for life, for sure. But, no. So definitely top one, agreed, top one. Yeah. Now, would you displace anyone in that top five?
Yeah, I think so. I think Joffrey.
You wouldn't put Joffrey in the top five?
No, I would displace him as in I wouldn't have him in top three. I'd have him in top two.
Okay.
I'd have him in that second area. I'd probably have Peter Baelish in top 10, and I'd remove him from the top 5.
Now,
I'd probably I'd probably move down the mountain and add in Cersei, because she's just a big facade. You know what I mean? Like you find out that like she's just about. She doesn't even care about Jaime. You know what I mean? Which is the one person that Jaime thought that like she cared for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's not true at all.
And you've seen her character develop into kind of like this downward spiral.
Yeah.
She was never great in the first place.
No, but it got worse.
But it got way worse.
When she got a little bit of power, got worse.
I probably would agree. Cersei would probably be my number 4. I'd definitely go Ramsay, Joffrey, the Mountain. Then I would go Cersei. Which, I mean, maybe like the casual person wouldn't go to the Night King. Would you put the Night King in your top 5?
I don't think he is enough of a character to
put in your top 5.
To put even in the whole list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He is a presence of evil essentially, or he is a presence of coming doom, but not a fleshed out character, not an everyday type of like, like you see him, but he's just that kind of impending force coming in. Whereas, and I don't know, his shit might be justified because you might find out that he's doing this because the humans or the human race, did whatever they did, and he's actually out for revenge. He's just thousands of years old, and he's out for revenge on it. You know what I mean? And it's like, is that justified? And I know we're humans, but if we look at it from an outside perspective or look at it from, outside coming in, it might be something that's like, oh, actually, he might be the one that's right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He might be the one. And there is a theory out there that says that that's the case.
Yeah.
And so, but I don't think he's enough character. There's no kind of dialogue. There's no development. You just know he's that kind of coming force.
Makes sense.
So I don't think he would even be on the list.
Maybe not. You're right. So, I mean, I know he's on the list. I don't know what number he's on the list.
Maybe season 8.
Maybe we actually
would change my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I would look at it and be like, oh, actually, it's pretty bad.
He's pretty bad. He's a pretty bad guy.
I mean, because, once you die, you die.
Yeah.
So if he's able to reanimate you, it's not like you're back. It's just he's just using your body to make a zombie version of you.
Yeah.
So is that really bad? Let us know.
Still living.
Let us know in the comment section down below. Read through the article and let us know your thoughts. Top 5. What is your top 5? I definitely think Hodor should have been number 1. Or if Javi was here, he would have totally been like, hot pie.
Definitely hot pie.
Yes.
Why? Because he made a terrible pie. That would be his justification.
Yeah, well, actually, he made that like wolf one, and it was like, God, you're so cute, hot pie. You're adorable.
You're so adorable that it's evil.
It's evil.
It's evil.
Because you had poison in it, and Arya didn't eat it, and that's why she didn't die. I'm kidding. I made that up. Spoilers. Just kidding. If you have not subscribed yet, please do. If you're interested, we do a weekly podcast for you guys. And we have other social medias. If you want to check us out on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Twitch, on SoundCloud, all different avenues here. Check us out. Follow us. Give us some comments. Engage. Let's create a community. So thank you so much for being a part of this. We hope you enjoyed it. And have a good one. Cheers.
Cheers. That was a good clink right there.
Yeah.
Good show.
Good show, man.
Good show. Yeah.
Good show.
Yeah. Please don't put that in there.
We're going to put it in there.
Oh, God.
I'm make a remix.